Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Are you guys copying me out there? Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I think y'all can pretty much hear me at this point. What's up, everybody? It is Friday. I am glad to see that all of you were able to make it in and stop by or holler at me. Check on your girl here, Lady Mocha here at Cafes de Paris Lounge. Hope your week went pretty well. Hope everything went good for you. Um, I felt it was very, very imperative, ladies and gentlemen, that I definitely did this content today. First off, I want to start off by saying thank each and every one of you for all of your support. I see some of y'all in the room here are new, and I see some of y'all are my regulars who have been with me from day one. Want to say thank you, give you a big shout out. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for all the positive energy, all the positive feedback. If it wasn't for you guys, my channel wouldn't be as phenomenal as it is now. So I definitely want to thank all of you. Please let me know that you copy me. Let me know that you hear me. I want to make sure that y'all are able to hear my voice. Can you guys out there hear me? Can you ladies hear me? Give me a thumb up. Give me okay. Let me know that you copy my voice because I want to make sure all of y'all can hear me. Let's see. Okay, you hear me. Okay, cool, 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 cool. All righty. With that being said, what the topic, the recipe for the day that is on my menu. This is very imperative. This is one of my contents that I'm going to produce to you guys and you ladies today is very serious. I'm very passionate about the topic that I'm getting ready to go into. So just strap your seatbelts on, kick back, have your ice house, have your glass of white Zinfandel wine, whatever it is that whatever it is that you like to drink, make sure you have everything. What's good, everybody? What's up, T19? What's up, D Boys? What's up, Harvey, Charlie Hustle, AK Style, Hebrew, J Shaw? What's good? Thank all of you for stopping on in. Appreciate you. Yes, today's message is very imperative because I felt the need to really address this because I've had too many people come to me personally regarding this type of topic. And for one, I would like to start by saying my heart goes out to all of you guys out there, who are trying to be good fathers, who really want to have an active role in your child's life, but due to, unfortunate circumstances, you're dealing with somebody that's bitter. You're dealing with somebody that's childish. You're dealing with somebody that is unfortunately miserable, and misery likes company. And sometimes when we get in situations like this and we have children from people on this level, it can really complicate life and it can make things really challenging. And that is the reason why I decided to do this particular recipe today, because it's just too many of you guys out there that are good fathers, and unfortunately a lot of y'all are taking a lot of bull for the sake of your children. You're tolerating a lot of disrespect. You're taking a lot of nonsense. You're taking a lot of chaos. You're dealing with a lot of drama on the strength of your children. And a lot of y'all are not understanding that. You guys, you fathers out there, y'all have the upper hand in the situation. You're just not using it, and you're not using your masculine authority because you're so afraid that this broad is going to take your son, take your daughter, and just really, you know, intrude, basically you're afraid, you're fearing that if you stand up to this woman, if you stand up to the mother of your child, if you put your foot down, you feel like you're going to jeopardize having a relationship with your children. And if you understood the dynamics of how much power you men out there have when it comes to your children, you will realize you don't have to take and tolerate as much as you're dealing with. You know, so this is the reason why I'm doing this content, Die Hard Daddies, because it's a lot of y'all out there that are tolerating and taking all kind of disrespect just so you can have an active role in this child's life, because you totally fear that if you stand up, you know, and you put your foot down and you know, basically you just take all kind of bull crap. That's really what it boils down to, just so you can have a relationship with your children. And if you understood the dynamics, you would realize that you have the upper hand. It don't matter if you're paying child support, if you're not paying child support. Just because you're paying child support, it does not mean that you don't have any power. All child support is just um um a source of payment, but that really has nothing to do with how much power you men as fathers, how much power, how much authority you guys have. But you're not using it the right way, because you're allowing uh whatever emotional roller coaster this female is going through, you're allowing it to she's basically using you as a puppet. She's pulling your strings, she's pulling at you from different angles, she's doing everything she can to try to make your life miserable, to try to make things complicated for you, because she knows how much you love your children. Now, before I go any deeper into this, I'm going to let everybody in my chat room now know this, because I want everybody to be aware and make sure we're all on the same page. If there are any women in this chat room that's going to have an attitude or going to throw shade, because I'm giving the fathers in here, I'm giving the men in here a lot of constructive advice, and I know a lot of bitter baby mamas. Oh, hello, do y'all copy me now? Does everybody hear me? Yeah, I think I had an issue with my sound. I want to make sure, does everybody hear me? Yeah, testing 1 2 3. Does everybody copy me? I know I had a little issue with my sound. I think I missing had the mute. I think I had the mute button on. I think that's what happened. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I apologize about that. I had hit my mute button. As I was stating for to everyone before my sound went out, T193, you still can't copy me. It may be your end, because everybody else is stating they can hear me. CT. Out. Sometimes you got to log out and log back in. I don't log back in. Okay, you should be, if you're having difficulties, because I see I got my sounds on, so my avatar actually moves on my end when it can actually hear my voice. So if you're not hearing me, you may have to log out and then log back in. Yeah, Harvey, what's good? Okay, you're good now. Okay, good. T193. Okay, as I stated earlier, I understand my voice had went out, so y'all probably didn't copy a lot of what I stated. As I stated before, the message that I'm getting ready to do today is called Die Hard Dads and Die Hard Daddies. And the reason why I'm doing this message is because I'm just starting to notice that there's a lot of men out there who are fathers that are tolerating and taking all type of disrespect, you know, for the sake of their kids, just so that they can have a relationship with their kids and have a connection with their kids. And what a lot of you gentlemen out there not understanding is that sometimes, no matter how cooperative you are, no matter how much of a participating father you are, if you're dealing with a woman that's very bitter, that's very childish, and is very malicious, it really doesn't matter. All of your good efforts are going to go in vain. It doesn't matter what you do or how much you do. It's going to be ineffective, because basically you're dealing with somebody that's very bitter and very miserable. Now, as I stated before, for any of the women that are in my chat room that may have a problem with today's topic, today's recipe, you are welcome to gracefully leave and exit out, for the simple fact this message is particularly for the fathers out there. I understand there was Father's Day recently, and I meant to tell all of you guys happy Father's Day, because the majority of my followers are men, and I didn't do that. So happy belated Father's Day to all of my dads out there. Whether you're on good terms with your baby mother, you're not on good terms with your baby mother, you are still a father. What relationship, whether good or bad, you have with her does not define who you are as a father. So just trust and believe that. So as I stated, you know, this message today is particularly for the men who are fathers and are doing everything they can to try to have a connection with their children. They're tolerating a lot of disrespect. They're tolerating a lot of chaos, a lot of drama. They're dealing with all type of shenanigans just on the strength of their children, because they just you know, you want a relationship with your child, so you're willing to tolerate and take a lot of stuff. And that is why I'm here today, to let you know you really do not have to. If you understood the dynamics of why a lot of these women do what they do and why they do what they do, you wouldn't be taking as much as stuff, you wouldn't be taking or tolerating as much stuff as you're tolerating, if you understood how much power you really have. You men have more power than what y'all realize. Y'all really, really do. Don't let the courts, don't let child support to make you feel defeated. Like, oh man, I just, all this money I got to pay every month, all this stuff I got to put up with. You got way more power than you understand. And that is why I am here today, because I'm going to school you and make you see and understand how much power you have. But the thing is, it's not about having power, ladies and gentlemen, it's how you use that power. And the problem with a lot of people is people who have power, they don't know how to use it, or either they abuse it. It's one or the other. So all of my moderators in here, if you see anybody talking greasy, you know, definitely handle your business. You know how to block, do what you do, or whatever. So you know, I don't care if somebody has a different opinion. They don't have to agree, but once they get to talking too reckless or they getting out of hand, you know what you need to do, and I expect you to go ahead and handle your business and do what you got to do. That's for my moderators. Okay, on that note, we're going to definitely go in today's recipe, and today's topic is called Die Hard Dads. Like I stated, it's a lot of dads out there. Y'all taking a lot of crap. Y'all taking a lot of foolishness, all because you want to have a relationship with your children. And I'm here to let you know you're going to get the best content from me today, because I know it's a lot of male bloggers and, you know, who got their own channel, and they will tell you all the stuff that women do and why they do it. Let me tell you something. A man don't know a man. I mean, a man don't know a woman like a woman know a woman. That's like a woman is trying to blog and do a channel about how men think and why men are the way they are. It's just, it's inevitable, you know what I mean? Because only a man really knows a man, and only a woman really knows a woman. So y'all are definitely going to get a plate full of knowledge today, because I'm going to school you on why women think like this, and why these bitter baby moms, why they do what they do, and how you can handle it, and how you can go about dealing with it, so you're not stressed out. You know what I mean? And you're not feeling overwhelmed, and you're not feeling defeated. So we're going to go in on today's recipe. So we're going to go ahead into that right now. So I'm going to break down all of the elements for all you diehard dads out there, again, who are tolerating and taking all kind of, you know, drama just so you can have a relationship with your children. Now, keep in mind the reason why I am doing this. Let me start off by saying the reason why I'm doing this. I'm not only doing this for you guys, but I'm also doing this for my ladies out there. It's a lot of my ladies who are married, who are in relationships with men who have children from previous relationships, and I get a lot of ladies that come at me and ask me the same thing. My husband's going through this, my man is going through this, you know, we trying to have a good relationship, you know, we trying to handle our business, and this woman is trying to make his life complicated. I know my husband loves his children. He's willing to do whatever he's willing to deal with whatever he got to deal with, because he doesn't want to lose his children. He doesn't want her taking the kids from him, you know, and things of that nature. So it's not only just for the men, for you ladies out there. You may be in a situation right now. The man you love, the man you care about, you've seen him be disrespected. You're seeing him frustrated, upset, that he really wants to have a connection with his children. But every time he tries to reason with this broad, every time he tries to, you know, meet her halfway, she's always pulling some stunts and underhanded things, you know, in order for him to have a part of his child's life. And if y'all are not careful to the games that these outside baby mamas are playing, you're going to lose your marriage. You're going to lose your relationship over an outside broad that's basically miserable because she's not where she needs to be in life. And the last thing you need to do is, it doesn't matter how much you want to be able to connect with that child and not understand. I'm a mother, I have a child, but at the same token, you can't expect different results if you keep applying the same method. It's not going to work. If your way has not worked all this time, it's never going to work. It's not going to work. If everything you tried and it has not worked out, it's not going to work out. That has is. I really don't think a man should do one of that. If woman feels like she can. Yeah, that's definitely a true statement, Hebrew. Um, let's jump. Yeah, Hebrew, you definitely you kicking an actual factual. But this is why I'm doing the message today, Bossolini, because it's 1,000 methods you can use other than getting a lawyer. That's why we're doing that. This is the reason why I'm presenting this to all of you. It doesn't take money to get your point across. It doesn't take money to get self-respect. What it takes is wisdom, knowledge, and common sense. If you use those three things, you won't even have to, you know, take it to that point. You know what I mean? But if you are more comfortable with getting a lawyer and you know, getting a caseworker, whatever you got to do, then you know that's understandable. But as I go into the dynamics, y'all are pretty much understand where I'm coming from. Okay, so starting off with this. The reason why I decided to do this, because of the simple fact I know it's a lot of guys out there, a lot of you guys out there are good fathers, y'all are good dads. You know, y'all are not perfect. You know, y'all have y'all faults just like we do as mothers. A lot of y'all could do more, and for whatever reasons you choose not to, but I can't judge you on that. You know, maybe you want to do more, but because of your finances, you really can't be there like you would like, or maybe you're in another state. Your circumstance or your situation may be set up in a way to where you really can't be there like you want to be, you know. And if you are doing all you can, which is the best you can do, then you're doing what you're supposed to do. Then the only problem is if you're in a position to do more and you just won't. But if you just see your child once a month, if that's the best you can really do, then you're doing what you need to do. If you only sending 30, 40, 50, and that's all you have because you don't make that much money, then guess what? You are doing your best. I know some men out here who's spending big money on their children. But that don't mean they're good fathers. You know, it's women out here who don't have a problem with getting their child support once a month on time. But that don't make them good dads. So don't feel like because you're a father and that don't make a lot of money, you're not a good dad, because that's not true. It's men out there who make all kind of money and can produce and take care of their children, but that don't mean they're good fathers. That means you can be a good provider and not be a good father. So don't think just because you're not sending big time child support or the little bit of money you send in is not enough, even though she may try to belittle you and make you feel like what you're doing is nothing. If you know in your heart you're doing the best you could do, then that's all that matters. You have nothing to prove to anybody out there, not even her. Yes, and I agree, African supremacy. Unfortunately, that's the foundation of why we have these problems. You know, it's too many people that is loose, you know, with sex, and people are learning to just and people are not building a foundation. People are not realizing that if you learn to build a family instead of having children in relationships, learn to have children in marriage, you wouldn't have all of these problems. You know, when you're casually, when you're dating, you're just in a relationship, you know, and you randomly having sex with people and you're not using protection, expect to deal with all kind of problems. This is what comes with the territory. You know, you're laying with a woman unprotected and you know you don't love her. You don't want to be with her. You don't care for her like that. You already know she's not wife material because she won't even keep a doggone clean sheet on her mattress. Why would you even feel comfortable with laying up with a woman in the raw like that? You know, and a lot of times, you know, we see the signs but we overlook it because we're too busy in lust at the moment. um Definitely met V. That's definitely, you know, you have to. I tell a lot of men you have to look at a woman's track record. You know, if she has 4 or 5 different kids and all of them have different last names, you know, and she's not even 35 yet, that is something you have to really think of. That is something you should stray away from. You should run away from her like she got STDs. Okay, if you already see she has a track record and she's with none of the children's fathers and she has all of them on child support, you already know you're going to be the next candidate in line. She's waiting for you to slip and get comfortable with her, and sooner or later, especially if you've been intimate with this broad for a long time, sooner or later somebody's going to get comfortable somewhere. You may be careful the first 1 or 2 times, but the more you keep getting involved sexually with somebody, somewhere you're going to get comfortable, somewhere you're not going to use your best judgment. So you have to be very careful laying with these women in a raw who you don't have any feelings for or who you know is not something you would want to build a future with. What's up, junk pile? Thank you. And what's up, dangerous television? I seen you in here or whatever, but you know, I was just rambling and everything of that nature. Yeah, it's just definitely too dangerous these days. Oh, yep. I don't know why I keep clicking the button. I apologize. Thanks, Charlie. If my voice goes out, please let me know. I don't know. I don't know why I keep hitting the freaking button on here. But as I was stating, yeah, I'm definitely going to break down all the elements for you now as to things what you can do to avoid dealing with so much drama and dealing with so much chaos when you're in a situation like this. Because the bottom line is, as I stated, we all make mistakes. We have children. If you have a child from this female, you can't get rid of the child. Evidently the child is here. You can't take back the hands of time. You can't some mistakes are not redoable. Some mistakes, once you make them, you got to live with them. But it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It's always other ways as to how you can deal with the situation. Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with the reasons why you don't have to take disrespect to be a part of your children's lives. I'm gonna explain that to you right now, for the simple fact that I've known a lot of men who feel like, if they don't cooperate or they don't try to stay cool, calm, and collective to try to get along with the mother of their child, they feel like if they cross a certain line, that woman is going to get angry and get upset and use the child as a pawn to take away from them. And I understand, as a father, if you love your child and you want a relationship with that child, you try to put yourself in a position where you don't want to piss off, because she has the upper hand and she could take the child away. And that's the issue that kind of keeps you in limbo and makes you feel defeated. Like, I want to put my foot down, I want to speak my mind, but I know the moment I say anything out of pocket, or the moment I don't go along with what she wants, she's going to take my son, take my daughter away from me. But I'm going to break down all the elements as to make you understand that you have more the upper hand than what you think. And these are the reasons why you should not tolerate disrespect. None, starting with number one. No matter what she says, you are important. I'm going to repeat that again to all the fathers out there. No matter what the mother of your children says to you, no matter what she says about you, no matter how she tries to insult, insult whatever it is you do for your children, she tries to knock whatever you do, she tries to be negative about all of your good intentions and your good efforts. The bottom line is, you are important. She needs you. Regardless of what she says, you are important. You have a significant role in that child's life, whether she wants to acknowledge that or not. It's the reason why God created it where man and women, it takes both to create a child. And with that being stated, being that it takes both to create a child, it takes two to also take care of that child. So keep in mind that no matter how much she tries to belittle your credibility as a father, it still does not mean you're not a father. Because the bottom line is, some people, you're not going to please them no matter how much you do. So the first thing I want you to understand is that you are important, regardless of what she says. Secondly, realize this, because this is the part where I'm getting ready to break down all of the elements as to why you should not be taking so much disrespect. You should not be taking all the crap that you take just so you can have a relationship with your child. The first thing is, realize that some mothers are placing demands on you for your child that they're not even meeting. And I'm going to go a little further into this. Okay. I'm just going to use a scenario. For instance, let's say Lil JJ, your baby mama, y'all got a son named Lil JJ, whatever, and she's calling you, going off about what you're not doing, what you should be doing, and JJ needs this and JJ needs that. And you said last week you was gonna take JJ to get some shoes, and you said you was gonna come and pick him up, and you said you was gonna take him to do this and that. She's complaining and going off and talking about everything that you're not doing. Keep in mind that a lot of these mothers that are complaining about what the fathers of their children aren't doing and should be doing, a lot of them aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing either. Now, Just because a woman has custody of her children, it does not mean that she is doing everything that she is supposed to do as a mother. Don't even get fooled by that. I know plenty of women who got custody of their children and are not doing none of what they need to do, but will call these men, will call the fathers of their children, and will complain and will nag about what the father ain't doing and what the father should be doing. Point in case, I knew a particular female who was getting child support on the books every month, was always getting the money. It was there on time. And no matter how much she was getting the child support, no matter how much money she was getting, she still could not have, she still wasn't handling her business. She was moving from house to house. Okay. She always getting put out, got to move somewhere else. Or every time she bought her a new vehicle, she gets the vehicle repossessed, has to turn around and get a new vehicle. I mean, for you to be a mother and for you to be sitting up here complaining about what another man isn't doing, keep in mind, it's a lot of these women, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They will sit up here and call you and make you feel guilty and make you feel bad that you're not doing all of what she needs for you to do. We need more money. You said you was going to do this and you said you was going to do that. Keep in mind that some of these mothers are failing their own children. And they're not going to tell you that. A lot of these mothers, they don't always come through for their kids either. I know some situations where the man will be sending child support and the kids still don't have the clothes they need. The kids still don't have all the necessities they need. They still staying in the most raggediest apartments. You know, she's still not, you know, providing for her children, even with all the money, even all the benefits she's receiving. You will be surprised how many women are receiving food stamps, how many women are receiving child support, WIC, living in low-income housing, and yet they are still struggling. These women who are complaining about their baby daddies not being there, they're not even there for their own children. You can be living under the same roof with your kids in the same house. That does not mean you are taking care of your children. Okay? Just because you have full custody and the children stay with you, that does not mean these women, some of these women out here are taking care of these children. Now, if this doesn't apply for you as a woman, then there's no need for you to get offended. If you are a woman and you are a mother, you're handling your business, you're taking care of your children, then there's nothing for you to get offended about. Okay, this message is pertaining to diehard dads who are willing to tolerate and put up with any and everything just so they can have a relationship and a connection with their children. But as I stated, you have a lot of these women who are not taking care of their children. They are placing demands on you as a father, telling you what you need to do, telling you what you should have done, well, you need to step up and you need to be a better father. You need to spend time with your kids. You need to do this and you need to do that. That's very true, T193. In psychology, it's called projecting. Exactly. A lot of these women out here not handling their business. So half of you men would be surprised. If you went inside your baby's mother's house, if you went inside your children's mother's house, you'll be surprised. Some of these bras don't even keep food in their house. Okay, some of these bras don't even keep cable in their house for their kids to watch cartoons. If you go in some of your kids' bedrooms, you'll see that their clothes got stains on them. She won't even wash their clothes. She don't even take care of the clothes that your child support is going on. You would be surprised how a lot of these women are placing all these demands on you as a father, and you will find out, and in some cases, a lot of these children, if you have a connection with them, they come back and they tell you, Daddy, I need some clothes. Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I need this. Daddy, you could bring me some McDonald's. Daddy, you could pick me up, this, that. And the first thing you'll think is, wait a minute, why are you hungry? I put money on the books every month. You know, I mean, once in a while, children are going to try to play you, and complain and say, oh, Daddy, I'm hungry and I want some McDonald's, when really it's food in the house, but they just don't want what mama cooked. You know what I mean? So little stuff like that. So that's a whole other story. What's up, Skylark Berto? Thank you for stopping into my channel. I appreciate it. Talk about these diehard dads. That's today's message about men who are tolerating and taking all kind of nonsense just so they can have a relationship with their children. That is what today's topic is. again, you know, a lot of these women, they will sit up here and make you feel bad, you know, like you don't do enough as a father. You don't send enough money. You don't spend enough time. I mean, if you're a man and you got to work, you know, you got not only provide for the child you have with her, but if you're in a relationship where you have children with that woman and you got bills, you got to pay bills where you are. So you're not going to always have time. You're not going to always, you know, be able to meet all of her demands. And you should never feel bad for that. You know, you should never feel less of a man for that. You should, like I said, you should never allow her to make you feel guilty, like you're not doing what you need to do, you know. So again, if you know you're doing all you can do, never allow how she feels or what she says to make you feel like you're not fulfilling your purpose. Okay, so just understand that you have a lot of these women out here raising hell about what men are not doing as fathers, and a lot of them are not doing what they're supposed to do as mothers. Just because the two kids stay with them or the children live with them or the state granted the mother full custody, that don't mean she's doing right by those children. That doesn't mean she's taking care of these kids. I know plenty of women who got all their kids, and you go in their house, their kids barely got clothes. Their kids been rocking the same dirty, raggedy sneakers with the holes in the front from 2 years ago. But yeah, she got her hair done. She got her nails done. She keep her a nice car. Got her kids staying in a raggedy house, you know, with holes in the ceiling, don't care that water's leaking through the roof, but yet she's going to the club dressing in, you know, red bottom shoes and all of this other stuff, and her kids looking like little orphanages. So you men, you do not have to feel guilty about what you do and don't do for your kids, because again, half of these women, they're not doing all of what they need to do. And they will sit up there and try to make you feel bad as a father. You not giving me enough money. Well, if you was doing what you're supposed to do with the money, then maybe you wouldn't be struggling so much. But a lot of times, you know, you have some of these women as what I call, you know, always but trying to ball on a budget, knowing they ain't got it like that, but they'll take the child support and be in the clubs, be in the nail shops, you know, being rainbows, you know, all these clothing stores, doing everything with the child support, but support the children. And they wonder why they're struggling, and they wonder why the kids don't have nothing. And yet they will try to make the father feel guilty, because what it is, they want you to keep compensating for where they're lacking, for where they're messing up. For instance, if I'm a trifling mother and you giving me child support every month, or whatever, or you giving me change, however, and I'm steady coming to you and I'm telling you I don't have enough money, it's not that I don't have enough money. What's going on is I don't have my priorities in line. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do with the money. And a lot of these women out here, not all baby mamas, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. But for these trifling baby mamas out here, the majority of them, they're not doing what they're supposed to do anyway. So what happens is when they mess up with the finances, or they're not handling business with the child support, they will call you and complain, because basically what has happened is they have messed up the money, and instead of them, you know, handling their business and being responsible with the money that you give them, they will just ask you for more money. They'll ask you for more money. I need more money on the books. You're not giving me enough money. You only giving me $200 a month. I need $300. No, what you need is to learn how to manage your money better. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, a lot of them, a lot for some of these women out here, it don't matter how much money you give them, it'll never be enough, because the majority of them got bad spending habits, and they try to live beyond their means instead of them, you know, taking the money and making good with it and making sure the children are the ones that are benefiting from the money. A lot of them are not doing that. Many black men, their women have to have the same quality as big mama, that she done. These qualities and more. That's very true, that's very true. Dangerous television. That's very true. A lot of men and women are definitely lacking in that area. I agree with you 100%. So, you know, that's the first thing that I want all the fathers out there to understand. Realize that a lot of these mothers, they be having expectations for you to meet that they're not even meeting. A lot of them not even doing right by the children themselves, you know, but they will sit up there and place all kind of demands on you and want you to be this superhero dad when she's not even being a superhero mom. So if you don't believe it, there's nothing wrong with asking your children, are you getting fed well? Or do you have groceries? Do mama keep groceries in the house? If you notice every weekend your kids got on the same clothes, got on the same shoes, you notice your daughter hair ain't been done in months, that's a big indication, that she's not handling her business. So you have to pay attention to little stuff like that, or else you'll miss a lot of things. You won't even realize that your children are lacking. Even with child support, let me tell you something. Just because a woman is getting child support, that don't mean she's going to support her children with that money. So you have to pay attention to stuff like that. And if you have a court order and you are noticing that when you do get your children, that your children are not coming to you with adequate shoes, adequate clothes, adequate supplies, then what you need to be doing is taking your camera phone and taking pictures of this mess. You need to start taking pictures of this mess, documenting, writing dates down. Every time your kids come to you looking like they're in a struggle, looking like they live in a homeless shelter, you need to start documenting this stuff, and you need to report her. You have the right to report your baby mama. Do not let child support or the system make you feel like you don't have a right to report. Documentation is everything. You can complain all day. You can say all day, well, my kids ain't getting this, my kids ain't getting that. But if it's not in black and white, and if you don't have proof showing that, then what you got to say, it really doesn't matter. I agree, Met V. And I totally agree. But the problem is now, Met V, the problem is a lot of women have lost their morals over the years. We're dealing with a different breed of women. And I'm not saying all women. If this does not apply, you don't have to reply. But what has happened, Met V, is the dynamics of women have changed significantly over the years. Women back in the 50s and back in the 60s, having a child from her husband, that is what women honored. Women found it honorable to have children from their husbands, because what they wanted to do was they wanted to help build a legacy, through them conceiving children from men who they actually married. That used to be the goal. Back then, pregnancy was a very sacred thing. It was an honorable thing. Women didn't just get pregnant just to get pregnant. Women got pregnant because that was known as a gift to produce in a marriage. And it was also a gift to help your husband build a legacy. That's what having children used to be about. But thanks to food stamps, thanks to child support, thanks to WIC and all of these other programs, a lot of the women have lost the true meaning of pregnancy and the true meaning of bearing children. Not understanding that bearing children is supposed to be a blessing, not a paycheck. It's not supposed to be a benefit. It's supposed to be a blessing. And a lot of women have strayed away from that. And a lot of it started from, when the feminist movement came along. And not that I'm totally against the feminist movement, because I love for women to be independent. And I think all women should be independent. But my problem is women have gotten to the point to where they feel like independency, their definition of independency has been misconstrued, because being independent used to be about being able to hold your own, whether if you had a husband or didn't have a husband. But what has happened is females in this day and age, they have basically transformed all of that into this new thing now, to where being independent means I can have as many children as I want, with a man or without a man, not realizing that's not being independent. That means you're basically putting yourself in poverty. There's a difference between being independent. And a lot of these, and the women in this generation, their way of thinking has been wired. Their way of thinking has been programmed into a whole different dynamic as to where they're thinking that I can have as many baby daddies as I want and I'm independent. You're not independent, because a lot of you, if you were independent, you wouldn't need housing. Okay, you wouldn't need food stamps. You wouldn't need child support. If you really had it together and you was that independent, you wouldn't need none of these resources. Back in our days, when when our aunts and our mothers was coming up during the 70s or the 60s, women handled their business. They didn't look for they didn't expect child support. They didn't expect housing and all of that. And the reason why they didn't expect it was because women intentionally had looked for husbands first. These days, women are not looking for husbands. They're skipping husbands and going straight to baby mama. They're not even trying to be a wife anymore. They're not even trying to be married, not even trying to be in a relationship. And I know it sounds old-fashioned, it sounds lame, and it sounds corny. I know some of these women may come in my chat room and be like, I don't need a man, I don't need a husband. But you have to realize that was the way it was designed. And when it was designed that way, we didn't have the problems we had. Had we stuck with that tradition, had we stuck with that foundation, husband, then children, we wouldn't have all the problems we have. And the reason why a lot of these women today are so stressed out and so overwhelmed is because they put themselves in a position of where they are doing it all by themselves. And I know child support and food stamps has them delusional, thinking that they can do it alone, and they cannot do it alone. That's why a lot of them have attitudes, and that's why a lot of them walk around here, pissing and moaning, and just acting ratchet and lashing out, and just being mean, being rude, being snappy, just snapping at everybody like a crab, because a lot of them are overwhelmed. They got too much baggage because the society has made them believe you can have as many children as you want. You don't need a man. All I have to do is supply you with food stamps and with housing, not realizing that all of that stuff is just the source. It's not. It's just resources. Is not the source. The source is having a father in our home. That's the problem. And that's why the crime rates are so high, because we have so many children that are coming from single parent homes. These single mothers cannot do it by themselves, because some of them, they working 2 and 3 jobs trying to take care of 6, 7, 8 kids. So they cannot be home to monitor what their kids are doing, to monitor what their daughter's up to. Meanwhile, you working 2, 3 jobs, your daughter screwing every Tom, Dick, and Daryl in the neighborhood, and you wonder why 3, 4, 5 months from now, your daughter end up pregnant, because you have to work so many hours to take care of these children by yourself because you're a single mom. Are you wondering why your son ended up in prison? You ain't knew all these years. You working and working so much, you never home. He breaking into people's houses. He he burglarizing people automobiles and taking stuff and stealing stuff, because you working so much, and most of the money you work is going towards the bills. You can't buy Billy the new Jordans, the new this, the new that. So he feeling some type of way, because all the other kids in his neighborhood, all the other kids that go to his school, got the nice shoes, got the nice clothes, got the nice outfits. Mama can't always afford to buy him the best because he got too many siblings, and she the only one holding it down. It's just so many dynamics to the whole situation. And that's why it's imperative that you men understand y'all have a purpose. Y'all don't have to tolerate and take all the disrespect just to have a role in your child's life from the mother of your child. But anyway, and I'm digressing. So as I stated, a lot of these mothers out here, they want you to meet demands that they're not meeting. Half of them ain't even taking care of the kids, but they want you to be this wonderful father, this father that's always on point, always doing right by his children, and half of them aren't even doing it as mothers. So that's the first point. The second point is, understand her emotional backlash is the reason she likes to make things complicated. As I stated before, there's a lot of women, it's a lot of single mothers or women that are walking around here with attitudes, and have this mean and nasty demeanor, and a lot of men do not understand where that comes from. A lot of men do not understand, why do half of these women got such bad attitudes? Why are they so mean and nasty and crabby, and they just always seem like they're in a bad mood. They always acting like they got a chip on their shoulder. A lot of it comes from the fact that not all, let me make sure I repeat this, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. If you're not a Black woman that has these issues, then you don't have to get upset. If it doesn't refer to you, then there's no need for you to get offended. As I was stating, a lot of the reasons that some of these women have attitudes and they're lashing out and walking around mean, cold, and got a chip on their shoulder, because a lot of them got a lot of baggage. A lot of them are overwhelmed. A lot of them have to have more responsibilities than they can afford to handle. You know, and the sad part is a lot of them, it still has not registered that the reason a lot of them are overwhelmed and they're aggravated with life is because they got too much baggage. Okay, when you got 4 or 5 kids you have to feed, and you don't get along with the children of your fathers because you don't ran them away because you're bad attitude, or you just not easy to get along with, or you just complicated, you know, because you're always miserable. You know, you make a man don't even want to have nothing to do with you, even if y'all do have children together. And you know, I totally, you know, I totally get it. You know, it's a lot, you know, when you put yourself in that position. But the bad part is a lot of them have never learned from it. If you saw it was hard with child number 1, why go to 2? Why go to 3? Why go to 4? Why go to 5? Why go to 6? Okay, if you already see it's too much, why do y'all keep allowing men to inflate y'all with children that you know you cannot afford to handle? You know you cannot afford, you don't have the patience, you don't have the money, you don't have that much help, you don't have a strong support system. And this is the chances you take when you go out here and you have children from men that are not married to you. You know, and the part that aggravates me about it, ladies and gentlemen, is there's too many women out here that are struggling and they're trying to make the struggle look good. There's too many women that are lying. There's too many single mothers out here that are lying and trying to make the struggle look good. All I got is me and my kids. I don't need nobody. I'm team mom. I'm team single mom. I'm team solo. All of it is a facade. Because when you go through those moments when your back is against the wall and you got all these bills and nobody ain't there to help you or contribute, you know, you breaking down, you crying, you in a nervous wreck, wondering how you're going to take care of all these bills because your child support ain't came on time. The people cut your steps off for whatever reason. You having problems on your job, you know, your boss, your supervisor riding your coattail. A lot of these women out here, they're overwhelmed. They're stressed out, you know. So what happens is a lot of them, a lot of your baby mothers, a lot of the mothers of your children, because they got all of these burdens in their life, they will lash it out and take it out on you. And it has nothing to do with you. It's called displaced anger. When you're really mad about one thing, but you want to direct it towards something that really has nothing to do with it. A lot of these moms out here, guys, or give you a run for your money with your children, because a lot of them have a lot of anger issues that got nothing to do with you. And she will make you believe that it's something you doing wrong. Well, if you would just was giving me more money, if you was doing this, if you was doing that. No, if she wasn't letting that same bum dude lay on her sofa, eating up all the kids' Debbie snacks and putting a hole in her couch for watching too much Netflix, he living off her, not contributing. That's why you're stressed out. And it's a lot of females that are doing this. They so badly want a man in their life, in their home. They already know they're struggling trying to take care of these 5, 6 kids. But because they know they have so much baggage, the chances of them getting a man of substance, of quality, is slim to none. So what they'll do is they'll just pick out the first man that'll just show their teeth to them. You know, let's see. Then just Tevin says, my baby mom had a weird thing about not being able to sleep by herself. She was like, "What's the bird?" She was like, "I better call." Ah, dangerous television. I'm telling you, it's sad because it seems like the more children they have, the more they start yearning for a man to be in their life. I mean, you wait 6, 7 kids later. Now you want a man. You want somebody that's going to be there to support you. I mean, I'm like, come on, like, for real. Yeah, and that be, and you have some out there. You have some better brothers who are proudly walking around with these women on their shoulders. Don't care if they got 6, 7 baby daddies. You know, and most men who fit into these categories, really, the majority of them are zeros, or meaning, you know, they low common denominator. low common denominator dudes, meaning they really ain't got nothing. They got to stay with her. They got no place to stay. They really don't have no money. Them kind of brothers will usually be the type of ones that'll walk around and be glad to be happy with women that got all that excess baggage. Or you'll get a brother who may have a good job, a good career, have some things going for himself, but if he has low self-esteem issues, he'll take on a woman who has baggage. And he won't mind it, because you got some brothers out there who got low self-esteem, and the only way they can feel whole is by picking up another woman who's struggling and don't have no more than he has. So he feels like whatever little bit he gives her is making him feel like king of the jungle. You get what I'm saying? So if you are a man who has low self-esteem, you are prone to picking up these type of females, because you really feel like that's the best you can do. Because if you really knew your self-worth, you won't be picking up a woman with a bunch of kids, especially if it's from random dudes. It's one thing if she was married and her husband died, or her husband got locked up in jail and she has all her kids from this one man because she was in a relationship or she was married, and that's a different story. But these other females that intentionally all they kids got different last names, then you already know what you're dealing with. T193, you said simtastic. So yeah, just realize that your baby mom, if she's tripping or taking you through a lot of changes, that means she's dealing with a lot of emotional backlash. A lot of things have not gone right in her life. She did not make the best decisions in men. Not saying she didn't make the best decision as far as maybe with you, whatever the case is, but she's living with a lot of regrets, and she's really disappointed. And there's not too many women that are going to be woman enough to say, I really disappointed myself. I messed up, by not choosing the right men to have a fault, by not using the right, basically, I'm tongue tied, but a lot of women are not going to really keep it real and say, I messed up. I didn't make good choices. I just had sex with all kind of random dudes just because I want to feel complete. I want to feel whole, or I wasn't getting enough attention. I felt like all I could offer was that, I really don't have any confidence. A lot of women they're not going to say that. They're not going to admit where they went wrong. Instead, they're just going to lash out and take it out on you as a father of their child, because you are an easy candidate, especially if you really want to have a connection with your child. Now, the next thing is you have to realize, as fathers, you don't have to be a diehard father and chase a woman down to have a connection with your child, because her regrets is what's making her hateful. You have a lot of women that are walking around here with regrets. And on that note, what I have to make you men realize, and I don't know if how many women in the room want to co-sign and agree to it, but as I stated before, women are very emotional creatures. And what happens is when one thing goes wrong in our life, it makes us question everything. So a lot of times it's a lot of women around here walking around with regrets because they know they did not make the best choices in their youth. When you start schooling at 13, 14, and 15 years old, you're not going to make good choices as far as who you choose as a father for your child. What's up, Sadia? Thank you for stopping in and hanging out with me. For everybody who's just coming into my channel, what I'm discussing is Die Hard Dads. Tonight's subject is about fathers, good fathers, who want a relationship with their children, and basically they're tolerating all type of disrespect. They're taking all type of drama just so they can have a connection with their child. And basically I'm going into the elements as to why they don't have to take all kind of unnecessary mess. So this message is specifically for the fathers out there, good fathers who want to be there, who want a connection with their children, who have done their best. I can't really speak on the deadbeats, but if for the most part, you're a good dude, you're a good dad, you just so happen, you had a child from the wrong type of woman who doesn't really acknowledge that or don't appreciate that, this message is for you. And as I stated, it's a lot of ladies who also are going through this. They're witnessing their husbands go through this. They're witnessing men who they really love or men they care for go through this situation. So this message is very beneficial to you if you're in either category. But as I stated, it's a lot of women, if you started screwing at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have a good baby daddy, because you weren't woman enough to make you have, basically, when you have children young, to all the ladies out there, if you have a child young, at that age, you're not going to make the best decisions in choosing the right man. You're not, because at that age, when you're 13, 14, 15, you don't have the womanly abilities to know what to look for. When you're young like that, you know what you don't look for the right things. You're looking at, does he dress cute? Does he have the latest Jordans on? Does he drive a nice car? When you're a real woman, you know what to look for in a man as far as choosing him to be the father of your children. But when you young and you dumb, you're not going to make the best decisions. And that's why I hate when people go around here and say things like, it's better to have kids when you're young. That way, when you're 20 years old, your child is only a few years behind you. That's the dumbest thing anybody can sit up here and tell a young woman these days. Do not sit up here and tell these young women it's okay for them to have children at a young age. That's the most dumbest advice you can give them, because they're giving birth to another dummy. They're going to give birth to another dummy, because how can you teach a child something when you're still a child and you don't know all of what you need to know? It's common sense. What does a 13 or 14-year-old mother who's giving birth, what the heck is she going to teach her baby? I mean, come on. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, exactly. Dangerous Television. Dangerous Television says the popular belief is these black men are walking out on their children. When truth be told, a lot of us are being pushed out of this child's life. Absolutely. And this is why I'm speaking on this subject. I agree with you 1,000%. This is the reason why I am doing this topic, because I'm here to let all of you guys know you do not have to feel guilty about not being there. And as the video goes on, it'll make sense to y'all where I'm coming from. This is why I'm doing this. The purpose of me doing this, Dangerous, because I don't want these men walking around here feeling guilty about not having a connection with their children. Not if that woman has been malicious, she has been mean, she has been conniving, she's been manipulative, she's been doing all type of things to throw roadblocks on your way of you not being able to be there and connect with your children. That's the reason why I'm doing this, because I want you to understand y'all don't have to feel guilty, and I'm going to go into the elements as to why. Okay. And I stated this before, another reason a lot of these women, some of these baby mamas, are bitter, is because you have stepped up. Basically, you done stepped up. You got a new woman. You have a new job, you have a new home, you are in a good space in your life where things are going well for you and things are going good for you. Especially a woman that's not where she needs to be in life, she's going to be hating on that. If you got a baby mother that's miserable and she has nothing good going for her, she is not going to cooperate with you. Just keep that in mind. If the mother of your child is struggling, she's down on her luck, she's not doing well, she's not in a stable relationship, she doesn't have all of those things, keep in mind she's not going to have your best interests at heart. That's basically the bottom line. Yeah. And yeah, Simone, I'm going to go into all of that. I'm definitely going to go into all of that. That's the reason of me doing this video. Again, for everybody who's tuning in, the video is called Die Hard Dads. Men who are taking and tolerating all type of nonsense just so they can have a connection with their children. Yeah, but that's one of the things you got to be cautious of. Once you step up and you get in a better position, and you start, to make everybody understand, right now I'm just explaining all of the reasons as to why the mother of your child is being difficult, or the mother of your child is being complicated. And that's when I'm going to go into the reasons why you don't have to feel guilty about not having a connection with the child. Okay, so I'm going to go into that as it goes on. Just stick around, and you'll be able to receive all of that. So just keep in mind, if you're doing well and you're in a good space in life and she's not doing well, she's down on her luck, she's not going to have your best interests at heart. It's an old saying, misery likes company. So basically, if I'm not doing good, I'm not going to try to cooperate with you if I'm not where I need to be. If I'm miserable and I'm disgusted about the stage where my life is at, I'm not going to cooperate with you. I'm not going to try to help you. If I don't have a man and I'm down on my luck and here it is, you doing good with your new woman, you got a new home, you got a new job, you got everything going great for you. All do you men not realize your success and your accomplishment is a constant reminder to her failures? Do you not realize the more successful you become, the more it makes her feel like a failure? Basically, it's a slap in the face to her, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you are in a good place and you're growing, you're blossoming, you got a better relationship, you're moving it into bigger and better things. That's not your fault. But what happens is you have some women, like I said before, they have compressed themselves with so much baggage, even if their baggage is not a bunch of children, because you can still be a woman with baggage even if you don't have a bunch of children. You could be a woman with a lot of emotional baggage. You could be a woman with a lot of psychological baggage. It's more than one type of baggage. You may have a baby, a mother, your child, she may not even have a bunch of children like that, and she's still miserable. She's still bitter and complicated. It's because she has a lot of psychological baggage. She has a lot of psychological baggage, a lot of emotional baggage. So realize that baggage comes on different levels, and if you're dealing with a woman that has a lot of emotional baggage and psychological baggage, then keep in mind that you're not really going to be able to get nowhere with her. And that's just the bottom line. When you're dealing with somebody that's emotionally damaged, that person needs really psychological help. And that's something that's a void you would never really be able to fulfill. It doesn't matter if you're a good dad, if you're a bad dad, you can get the child every weekend. But if she's a woman that has emotional, psychological damage, it really does not matter. It really does not matter when you're dealing with a woman that has psychological issues. Also, the next step is, this is another reason why you diehard dads, don't need to be tolerating all kind of disrespect for the sake of your children. Your humbleness provokes a bitter woman. I'm going to state that one more time for all of you who did not catch it. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Some of you men out there who are trying to be diehard dads for the sake of your children, keep in mind your humbleness provokes a bitter woman. And I'm going to go more into that. Oh, goodness. You watch Acrimony 193 that many times. But that's a very true movie, though. It's a lot of women. It's a lot of women that are like that. But in that situation, it's totally different. But we'll get back into that because I don't want to miss my point. As I stated, your humbleness provokes a bitter woman. Let me explain the dynamics of that. If you're a father and you're trying to be an easygoing man, meaning you try to communicate with her, you try to reason with her, you try to compromise with her, you try to be mutual with her, you try not to cross no ways, you try to talk, you try to understand, you try not to rub her the wrong way, whatever she says, you try to jump to her ever becking call, and you try to do everything you can to make her happy, to make her content, because you don't want to disappoint her. You don't want to seem like a failure as a father. You don't want to look like you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Keep in mind, if she is bitter, do you realize that none of it matters? Do you not understand that no matter how humble you are, do you not understand that being humble doesn't mean nothing to a bitter broad. Do you not understand that? That's like trying to pet a doggone grizzly bear. You know, that's like trying to pet a grizzly bear. There's nothing you can do to please a bitter, miserable woman. You will exhaust yourself trying to do right by her for the sake of your child. You cannot win a bitter broad over. The quicker you accept that, the less of a headache you're gonna have. Stop trying to be humble to a bitter, miserable woman. That's like trying to feed that's like trying to feed, a 450-pound female. You can't give her a slice of cake and think she's gonna be satisfied. It'll never be enough. It will never be enough. You cannot please a bitter, miserable woman. Do you realize the more humble you are, the more nice you are? Basically, all you do is you stir up her ego. You basically you stroke her ego when you're trying to be humble and docile to a bitter, miserable baby mama. You're not helping the situation. If anything, you're making the situation worse. Trying to be this humble, okay, well, I want to see my son this weekend, my daughter this weekend, and you see, no matter how nice you are, she's grilling at you. Man, why she got to come this weekend? Why so and so? This and that. She's doing all of that. You are wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Like I said, your humbleness provokes a bitter woman. She's bitter. She right now, because she is so mad and miserable with her life, it don't matter how nice you're trying to be. She is not where she needs to be in life. So right now, she's going to resent you and all your good efforts. It's not going to mean anything to her coming from you. It's not. And that's basically what it boils down to, Dangerous. Once you move on, let me tell you guys something. Let me just go ahead and let y'all know right now. If you already had a shaky relationship with the mother of your child and she already wasn't easy to get along with, if you get a woman, it's just going to get worse. I'm going to let you know that now. You might as well get ready. Get ready for all of you dads out there who plan on getting married, or you in a solid relationship and you know you're going to be with this woman for a long time. Strap your seatbelt on, because this bitter baby mama of yours, she's going to really start giving you a run for your money. Get ready. It's going to happen. So all this trying to be a gentleman and trying to be nice and trying to talk nice and trying to be humble and what can I do to make you happy? You are making yourself a welcome. You're gonna be a straight what they call them little those little I forgot what they call them, those guys that they have the little red cape when they trying to when they're bullfighting. They're bullfighting, and sometimes the bull will trample and stump, stump all over them. I forgot what they call them kind of guys. But anyway, you basically put yourself in a situation to be stampeded. You setting yourself up. You put yourself basically in sucker zone. That's as simple as I can put it. You setting yourself up to be a simp. You cannot be nice to a bitter, jealous, miserable baby mama. It's not going to happen. It is just not going to happen. You're wasting your time. What it is, miserable people need to feed off. They want somebody else to feed off their misery. And if she's miserable and she's struggling, she don't have a man, or the man she got ain't worth 2 cents, and she's not in a good place in her life. If she's not a mature woman, she's not gonna. If anything, a mature woman is like this. A real woman, regardless of how good her ex is doing, or regardless of how good her baby father is doing, instead of her keeping up with him and worrying about what he is doing with his new lady and what she's not doing, a real woman gonna go even harder to try to get to where she needs to be. That's what a real woman would do. A real woman is gonna try to, use her misery to motivate her instead of allowing it to condemn her. She's going to use her failures to motivate her to become a more successful, more better woman. In other words, instead of her keeping up with what you're doing with your new woman and your new house or your new wife, she's got her mind on a whole nother level. She's trying to better herself. She ain't got time to be calling you and keeping up with you and what you're doing. That's a real woman. But but when you're dealing with a bitter broad that's not in a good place in her life, she has all the time in the world to keep up with what you're doing, who you're doing it with. That's because she has no life, or she's not in a good place in life and she's not happy. If you are happy, if she is happy with where she is in life, I don't care who you with or what you do, she can still be civil with you. She'll still be civil with you. She's not always using a child as a pawn to get a point across or to get what she wants out of you. If she's a real woman, she may not even like your wife or your new woman or whatever, but she's woman enough to know how to keep her emotions in check and to not allow how she feels to intervene with how you interact with the child. But when you're dealing with a bitter, immature, childish broad, expect that. That's what you're gonna have to deal with. This is another point. This is another reason why you men, don't have to be diehard dads, to have a connection with your children. If she didn't value you, she wouldn't be attacking you. If she did not value you, she wouldn't be attacking you. Think about it. Who would get upset over trash? Once you throw something away, you throw something in the garbage, or you put something on the side of the curb, you're not going to get mad who comes and pick up what you put on the side of the curb. You're not going to get mad if somebody takes something out your trash can. You know why? Because you don't want it anymore. You don't want it, or basically you don't see no value in keeping it. Okay? So once you have given something up that you consider trash, you're not upset about who ends up taking it or where it goes. But if it's something you truly value, if you miss and throw away something you value, like how many of you by mistake probably missing through your wallet in the trash, or missing through some money in the trash, something important you missing through it in the trash. And you realize, oh man, I threw my so-and-so in the trash. Guess what? You don't care how many people standing around looking. You're gonna go in that trash can and you're gonna empty that trash can out. You don't care how many people looking at you and saying, why is she digging in the trash? I mean, who would dig in the trash? You know why? Because you left something valuable in that trash can. I think like I brought some type of device and I missed and threw, I think I brought like a brand new coffee maker or something, and I missed and threw there was another part that belonged to it, and I missed out, threw it in the trash. And that morning, I knew the trash men were going to come out and empty that trash. And that little device was every bit like $50 or $60 that belonged to it. I had to dump that whole trash can. I had to go in, get dirty, and try to find it. And I was able to retrieve it. And that's the same thing. If your baby mom still has an attitude, she's still being complicated to give you a hard time, it's because she knows you're a good dude. She knows you're somebody worth of value. If you was Mississippi trash, she wouldn't care who you end up with. It wouldn't even affect her any. It wouldn't even bother her. But because she knows what type of man you are, and she knows you're a man with substance, it's going to make her feel some type of way when she sees you moving on. Yeah, that's another point too, dangerous. Absolutely. That's a very good point. But yeah, so if the mother of your child is just being complicated, difficult, nasty, it could have a lot to do with she still has feelings for you. She knows your value. If you were somebody who didn't have nothing going on, you know, unless you was one of those fathers, you was a straight deadbeat, woman beater, you know, you was just a straight, you know, low common denominator, then her anger with you may be for different reasons. But if you are a man that's always pretty much carried yourself with substance, you always had a good job, you always handled your business, you always had your stuff together. I ain't say you got to be a perfect man, but you always been a man that handled your business, and she knows you're a man of good quality. Of course she's going to be upset if you moved on, because she knows what the next woman is getting. She knows your potential. She knows your drive. You know, she knows how much of a hard worker you are. She knows how motivated you are. She knows the next woman is getting ready to have something that's valuable. And she knows that. So that's another reason why, you know, a lot of you men, y'all don't have to be combative. You don't have to run and chase a woman down about having a relationship with your children. Because if she didn't really feel like, if she felt like you wasn't a good father, she wouldn't even want you to have anything to do with the child. What it is, a lot of them just like to play mind games. They know how you feel about the child. They know you love the child. And depending on where they are in life, if they're miserable, they will use that child as a pawn to try to make you miserable because they're not happy in the position they're in. That's basically what it boils down to. Now, the next reason is realize that the child is her only bullet in the chamber. She's not going to speak the truth and say I messed up because I had a good guy, or now I realize your potential now that I see you with the new woman. Realize, guys, and for you ladies out there who are experiencing the situation with your dude, realize a lot of women play this game because the child is the only bullet they have in the chamber to work with. That's really the only power they really feel like they got. That's the only reason for it. And like I stated before, it's called indirect anger. Instead of her really stating that, you know what, I messed up. I realized we had a good thing. I realized you was a good man. I realized that I would have been better off raising this child with you versus struggling by myself, doing it as a single mom. A lot of these women, they're not going to admit that. They're not going to take accountability and admit where they went wrong. Instead, what they're going to do is try to use your child as a pawn to try to make things complicated for you, because basically she realizes what she had with you, she should have tried to make it work. And because she's too bitter or because she's too childish, she's not woman enough to admit that. So she's just going to try to make things complicated with you having a relationship with the child. So that's just something you have to keep in mind. You know, realize the child, that's her only weapon that she has, you know, because evidently she knows she has nothing else. She can't, there's nothing else she could use to get your attention. There's nothing else she can use to her benefit. So she's going to use what you love and what you care about, which is your child. And that is what she's going for. Realize this, and this is the reason why I'm going into this video, because what I want a lot of you men out there to understand is you need to stop chasing these women to have a relationship with your child. Stop chasing them. I know you love your son. I know you love your daughter. I know you want to have a significant role in their life. I know you value being a dad. You know how important it is to be there. But if you can't expect change if you keep applying the same method. The results are not going to change. A lot of men have not earned and gained their respect really from these women until they walked away. And I hate to say that, and I know I'm going to lose a lot of brownie points, but sometimes you have to walk away. And I'm not saying it got to be permanent, it has to be forever. But you cannot just sit up there and allow the mother of your child to disrespect you and cause problems in your house, all because she's not where she needs to be in life. She doesn't have a man, or the man she has is not stepping up. Whatever her personal reasons are, you cannot allow her to make you miserable because you're in a relationship with your child. If she really believes that she doesn't need you, she really feels like she could pull it off by herself, she feels like, you know, you don't have a purpose, then let her do it alone. Let her do it by herself. If she feels like the money you sending is not doing enough, whatever the case is, unless you got a child support order, then you got to step up, whatever. Do your part and you back up and you let her do the rest. Sometimes the only way a person is going to feel your presence, you got to let them know your absence. You have to let them realize and see what it's like not having you there. This is the thing about it. This is the thing about it, dangerous. The other piece of the puzzle, not necessarily. I understand, because I have had men who said that if I walk away from my child, that'll give her room to brainwash and this and that. First of all, she's not going to let the majority of these women, she's not going to let you not be there, not be there, not, as far as I'm saying is, she's not going to let you not be in a life forever, because it's too hard with her doing it by herself. That's basically what I'm saying. I know it sounds risky, and I have heard men say that, but this is why I did this video, because I'm trying to make y'all understand is that these women cannot do it alone. They cannot do it by themselves. And the thing about it is, you can still have a connection with the child, but don't be involved as much. For instance, if getting your child every weekend, if every time you try to talk to her and you try to reason with her, she's bucking you, she's being complicated, you know, she's just giving you trouble, you can still have a connection with the child, meaning that you can still talk to that child over the phone. You don't have to do like completely walk away. You can still send a child a birthday card. You can still be a dad, but you got to be a dad from a distance to let that child know, hey, I'm still around. But you ain't got to explain to the child wholeheartedly unless that child is old enough to understand that, look, me and your mom are not getting along, whatever the case is. The thing is, as long as you are around, as far as you're keeping in touch, that's the best you can do. But my thing is, she's still going to brainwash your child, dangerous television, whether if you are there or not. As long as you're allowing her to disrespect you, she's going to brainwash that child anyway. Even if you are the father that's coming around every weekend, she still got Monday through Friday to brainwash your child. So, I mean, it's still not going to make a difference. Do you understand what I'm saying? Also, she can brainwash you. Yeah, and that's the point I was going to make, That's the point I was going to make. The point I was going to make is, it does not matter how much these women, and I get it, you don't want to leave your child, you don't want to walk away. I'm not saying, let me start off by saying this to all the fathers. When I say walk away, I'm not saying walk away and act like the child is dead and act like the child never existed, okay? I don't want nobody taking it like that. What I'm saying is, if she's a badass and she figures she could do it all by herself because you ain't sugar honey iced tea, then let her. I guarantee you, she's not going to allow you to not be in that child's life permanently. When she feels the wrath of having to deal with that child by herself, because these children go through different stages in life. They go from toddlers, they go from adolescents to teenagers. They go through different stages. It's going to come a point to when things are going to get rough and it's going to get hard. She's going to need you to be there. It's going to come. You don't. That's the part that you need to. That's the part you really need to understand. Yes, dangerous. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. That, like Matt V was saying, the child, as that child gets older, hell, they live with the mama long enough, they'll see why their daddy left. Once they get a taste of dealing with their mama attitude and dealing with their mama nastiness, they will see. Oh, now I see why daddy, shoot, I see why. I don't even want to deal with mama. Absolutely. You can't. The thing about it is, like I said, you cannot fear walking away. You can still be there without really being there. You can still check on that child. You can still see about that child. But what I'm saying is, you need to stop chasing after these women, making these women believe you're going to roll over and die if you don't have a connection with that child. If she knows that you are so wholeheartedly care about your children to the point she can drag you, disrespect you, and take you through changes, then guess what? Let me ask you this, guys. For the men out there who have an issue, and I'm not saying you have an issue, Dangerous Television. I'm just saying hypothetically. I don't want nobody to think I'm singling them out. For all you men out there who feel like walking away from your children is going to give this woman an advantage to brainwash you, do you not understand that why would you want to deal with her for the fact that your children are seeing you as a father get disrespected? If your son's mother or your daughter's mother is up here seeing daddy get disrespected and talked to like a dog, do you not understand that you're making that child believe it's okay for them to disrespect you as well? Do y'all not see that? Do y'all not understand that? Do you not understand that if you sit up here and say, well, I don't want to walk away because I don't want her brainwashing or putting my child, but at the same token, do you realize your son or your daughter don't need to be sitting up here watching a mom disrespect you, because then they're going to think they could disrespect you? Let me see. I just said nothing but chat. I don't blame you, MT. I don't blame you. I bet you get more sleep at night too. And there comes a point where sometimes you got to let your kids find out stuff for themselves. They will not be babies forever. Sooner or later, they will put the pieces together, because at some point, mama can't do everything. At some point, they're going to need you in their life. They're going to have to call you. They're going to have to reach out to you. It's going to come a point in life. What I'm basically saying is you're not going to lose your children indefinitely by walking away. You can send your checks. You can send little birthday cards. Let them know you're still thinking about them. Something like that. Order pizza to their residence. Have it already paid for. This from daddy. It's little things you can do if you really are worried about your child thinking you really don't care. But you don't have to be sitting up there chasing and begging and running after her and crying about, I want to see my son. I want to see my daughter. You won't let me see my child. My thing is, stop crying and chasing and running behind these women who are disrespecting you. That's what you have to understand. It's just my daughter is grown. I'm the biggest liar in the world when I have no reason to lie to her. Dangerous Television, just to give you some insight on that, because you're not has had issues. A matter of fact, I did a video on my Patreon account. For all of you men out there, I did a video on my Patreon account about fathers and daughters. I did a video specifically for men who are not connecting with their daughters. I think that it give y'all a really good insightful perception as to why these women have such an advantage when it comes to the girls. Now, keep in mind that, Dangerous, when I say this, is that the reason why your daughter is feeling some type of way is for the simple fact that, unfortunately, when it comes to daughters, when it comes to the men out here who got daughters, and you got a daughter that you're not connected with, basically, a lot of it just has to do with the fact that women, we feed off each other's emotions, okay? It's no different than, me being a woman and I got girlfriends, and I got a girlfriend who might call me and vent to me about all her problems. And me being a woman, I'm going to relate to her even if she's not right. Me being a woman, I'm going to relate to another woman, because that's how women relate to each other. We relate to one another through emotion, even through bad emotions. But that's how women connect. Women connect through emotions. And basically what has happened in your case, like a lot of these men out here who have fathers, what it is by your daughter being a female, her mother was able to play on her emotions, okay? And this is something women do all the time. It is not just women who got daughters. Women, we do this with each other. We play on each other's emotions. It's kind of like, if I'm miserable, to give y'all an example of how we play on each other's emotions. Basically, women, we exchange emotions a lot. And what I mean, guys, by women, how we exchange emotions, if I'm in a pissy mood, let's say me and my husband had an argument, had a fight. One of my homegirls called me and say, girl, you won't believe what Craig did. Craig did this. I found Craig cheating, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm emotionally not in a good space, guess what? I'm not going to give her the best advice. I'm going to give her advice based on my emotions because that's what women do. Women are not always logical thinkers. We are emotional thinkers. If we are in a bad space, we feed off each other's emotions. Okay? And basically because the mother of your child has an animosity of resentment against you. She was able to feed your daughter that emotional backlash. Because like I said, women, we feed off each other's emotions. Okay. But trust and believe, dangerous. What's going to happen is, I guarantee you, the mother of your child and your daughter, eventually they're going to bump heads. They're going to end up beefing because they're going to end up clashing because two women do not get along under the same roof for a long time. That's a promise, because what's going to happen, this is the thing about it. The mother of your daughter is teaching her to think like her. Look at this in a deeper realm. The mother of your child is teaching your daughter how to think like her, how to perceive things like her, how to reason like her. Do you not realize, dangerous, that she's creating another her? And you know what happens when you put gasoline and gasoline together? You can't put too much of the same thing together. Does that make any sense for any of you guys out there who got daughters? Do I need to break that down in a simpler complex for y'all to understand? Don't be fretful if your daughters are beefing with you or are not really connecting with you based on what their mother is feeding them, based on what their daughter is feeding them. Because what's happening is, like I said, she's creating another version of her. And what's going to happen is they're going to end up bumping heads. I guarantee you, dangerous, your daughter and her mother is going to end up bumping heads because they're too much alike. She's teaching her daughter to be another version of her. And the bad problem is, if she already has that attitude, dangerous, then she's going to be one of those women. She's going to sabotage anything she gets. Yeah, it don't matter who she marries. If she already has this attitude, whether she marries a white man or a black man, if her mother has already programmed her mentally with this attitude to hate her father, any little thing that man does to disappoint her, she's going to carry him through a lot of changes. This I can tell you. Whoever ends up with your daughter because of the way her mother has taught her, she's going to give the next man grief. Because she's programmed her daughter. If she's already programmed her daughter to hate you as her dad, she's practically programmed her daughter to hate all men in a sense. Even if she is getting married, the moment that man disappoints her, or the moment that man does something to upset her, she's going to lash all the way on out. So you know what? You let her have that, because you got to forgive her as hard as it is, because she's young. She's still ignorant to a lot of things, and you can't get upset with a person that's ignorant because they don't know all of what they need to know. So as bad as it is, you're gonna have to fall back just like you're doing and let her live her life, and she will find out sooner or later that as long as she has that attitude, I don't care who she deals with, they're not going to be able to deal with her for long. What's up, D brother? Thank you for coming on in. Talking about diehard dads that are willing to take all type of disrespect, take all type of nonsense just to have a relationship with their children. That's what I'm talking about today. Let me see what other basically, like as I stated, because I know I digressed. You men, y'all need to stop chasing these women that have a connection with your children. Do not chase after these women. Stop. You shouldn't have to beg a woman to see your own child. You shouldn't have to beg. You shouldn't have to, roll over and die and jump hurdles. Either she gonna let you be there or not. And the best thing, if you all can, to eliminate this, you better off going through court and getting visitation. You do, again, you can't reason with no bitter woman, even though it is less of a headache dealing. You figure because you're not dealing with child support, you rather deal with her. That way you got to pay the money. You can't, like I stated, you cannot reason with a bitter woman. You can't. What's up? Mortal known as Lord Draconis. What's up, dude? What's good? Thank you for stopping by, for stopping in. You just can't, all that chasing, like I said, as I stated before, chasing after your own children, all you doing is you're arousing that bitter woman's ego. You boosting her ego when you're running after a child that is your child, and you have to run after a child that's your child. If she thinks she's bad, and she thinks she got it all under control, and you ain't this and you ain't that, and she don't need you, then leave her with the bag. Let her handle it without you. And as I stated, it don't have to be permanent. Even if you can just go for a month or two, program yourself to, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what, for the next 2 months, I'm not getting nobody. I'm not seeing nobody. I'm just gonna drop off my money or whatever. Her birthday come, I'll stick her birthday card in the mailbox. All that calling her and begging her, stop doing that. Because once you get, you're creating a monster. Once you get into a routine of, begging and chasing, and especially with a woman that's miserable, she's gonna look for you to do that all the time. You're gonna constantly have to be on your hands and knees to have a relationship with your child. If she think, how do y'all realize she's not gonna understand how important you are unless she sees what it is like not having you? That's the only way she's gonna understand. She's not gonna understand your significance, your importance, if you are always there running behind her, kissing her behind. What's up, Anthony? Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm telling you, MT, a lot of people don't want to believe it, but child support is a blessing in the strangest ways. Because do you not understand that once you pay child support, you're not obligated to do nothing else? You're not obligated to pick them up on weekends. You're not obligated to go take her to no doctor's appointments. Guess what? The rest is on her. I look at child support as you paying your way. It's basically you're paying your way to keep out your hair. That's basically what it boils down to. Thank you, Anthony, for the donation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's just a lot of times when you try to be cheap and cut corners, you got to realize what's more important. You rather save your money or what? Save your peace of mind. What's more important? Yeah, you got all you may not be paying on child support and got all your money, but you got to deal with headaches. Every time you want to see your son, see your daughter, you got to go through all kind of changes, to deal with her. You got to go through a whole lot. But guess what? Well, a lot of women don't understand. Do they not realize child support restricts them too? I know a lot of you men think that child support only is restricting you, but guess what? Child support restricts them, because as long as you're paying your child support and everything on time, by law, she has to comply. She has to give you visitation. It don't matter if she's in a good mood. It don't matter if she's in a bad mood. Whatever that judge says, it stands. But at the same time, you have to do your part. You cannot do your part and then you want to place demands on seeing your children. It don't go that way. Money talks, BS walks. That's just the way it is. We're in a greedy world. We're in a world that's greedy. And sometimes you got to give people a dollar to keep it, to get what you want. You just got to look at this way. I got to pay to see my kids. That's what child support is. I got to pay to eliminate the headache of dealing with her. Pay to be able to see my children as much as I want to. That's the benefit in it. Household lesson. And Matt V, I definitely agree with you. Matt V says one of the best things that a man can do with a bitter baby mama is walk away, which teaches the entire household a lesson. And you ain't never lied, Matt V, because that kills more than one bird in one stone, because it also teaches your child to respect you. A lot of y'all are dealing with that now. It's like, it's bad enough you got to chase the woman, you got to chase the mother of your child, you got to take her bull crap in order to see your daughter, to see your son. But at the same time, y'all even taking crap off y'all children to see our own kids. some of you men, y'all own children are disrespecting y'all. Some of y'all are getting disrespected by the children you are fighting to see. I find that very ironic that you men got to deal with your own child being disrespectful for you to see your child. I think that really boggles me. Yeah, MT. But that, that basically, sometimes, of course, it's sickening. But again, it depends on what you can deal with. If you can deal with not seeing your child for a month or two, just for her to just to prove a point how important you are, and it not get to you, then that'll be the best method for you. Or if you one of them diehard dads that you don't want to disappoint your child, you don't want to walk away and make your child think you don't care, even though you done been in the majority of that child's life. But in your mind, you feel like if you don't see the child just for 1 or 2 days, you disappoint that child. Then you're going to have to deal with the abuse, deal with the disrespect. You're going to have to deal with all of that. And at the end of the day, you're still not going to get all your credentials as being a good father. You're still not going to get the real recognition that you deserve from it. So if you die hard and you one of those men, hey, Mocha, I hear you, but I'm not going to disappoint my child. I don't care how much the mother disrespects me. That's my child. I'm going to have to deal with it. Then fine, you deal with it. But just keep in mind, you are sending the wrong signals. You are teaching your child that being that the mother is disrespecting you, then she's going to think she can disrespect you. Because guess what? That mother is going to help that child disrespect you. She's going to. Listen, if the woman is already disrespecting you, the moment that child disrespects you, that woman is not going to have your back and say, no, don't disrespect your daddy like that. I don't care what me and him are going through. Don't talk to your dad like that. Don't, disrespect your dad like that. You got some women so disrespectful, they will back your own child up and help that child to disrespect you. That's how bad it done got. And if it done got that bad, then guess what? To the fathers out there, you got what you asked for. You sitting up here, you letting the mother of your child disrespect you because you want to have a relationship with your child so bad. Now, once that daughter or that son of yours starts disrespecting you, now you got both of them disrespecting you, then guess what? Those are the monsters that you created. You created that. Because you took disrespect off of one and now it done trickled down. That's why the rapper 50 Cent, he don't deal with his mother or his son for that same reason. First, it started off with her being disrespectful, and then the son came right behind it. And don't you know, the mother backed her son up into thinking it's okay for her to disrespect his dad. That's not cool, and I hate that some women do that. I don't care how you feel about the father of your child. You don't teach your daughter or your son that it's okay to disrespect their dad, but you got some women that do that. Another point is, you have to stop constantly rearranging things to make the mother happy. In some cases, you're just not going to win these women over. You're not going to win them over. Stop constantly changing things to make them happy. You was getting the kids every other weekend. Now she wants you to get them every weekend. And because you don't want to tell your kids no, you just jump into everything she says. You cannot do that. You're creating a monster. You stop letting her decide what y'all can do and how y'all can do it. Once y'all have an agreement, you stick with it. And if the weekend that you have agreed, she wants to get nasty that weekend because she didn't get no pipe that night or whatever the case was, then guess what? Don't get her. Don't beg her. And then she comes around, well, ain't this supposed to be your weekend? No, well, last weekend you wouldn't let me get my daughter or my son when I wanted them. So guess what? I'm not getting them this weekend. Stop chasing after these women. Stop tolerating disrespect just so you can have a connection with your children. And this is another thing. If you're in a relationship, do not let her disrespect the person you're in a relationship with. Do not let the mother of your child disrespect your wife, disrespect your girlfriend. Do not let her disrespect the woman that is supporting you through this bull crap she's taking you through. If your companion, your wife, your woman is feeling some type of way, is making her feel uncomfortable, you and her got to do what y'all have to do to keep the peace within your relationship. Do not let what she's dragging you through to intervene in your relationship. Because it's a lot of men that are doing that. Y'all are allowing your ex-baby mamas, your baby mamas or whatever to cause problems in your relationship. You know, at the end of the day, who you with, that's who you're going to be with the majority of the time. And you need to be connecting and getting along with the woman you're with. You know what I mean? So do not let these women on the outside affect your household. Another point I wanted to make is, of course, exactly, dangerous. Absolutely. Do not have dealings with family or friends that still hang with her. If you have a mother, if you have a sister, if you have a brother that's still kicking it with your baby mama, and know your baby mama is mean, nasty, and did all kind of meanful things to you, you need to cut them off too. If your mama, your daddy, I don't care who it is, nobody in your family should be affiliating with a woman who has disrespected you and who has taken you through all kinds of changes to have a connection with your child. Whoever that person is, if they're connecting with the mother of your children and they know that woman has did you in, then guess what? They don't mean you no good. You need to cut that person out your life as well. It's just as simple as that. They should be supporting you. Okay. It's one thing if they're talking to her to try to get y'all to get along. But if anybody's affiliating with your baby mama and stirring confusion up and they backing her up and talking negative about you, then you might want to cut that person off. You know, that is just as simple as that. And the last point that I wanted to make is, you know, when it comes to these baby mamas, do separate activities with them. You know, don't be trying to have parties, do combined parties where, you know, you got to bring your wife and then she come in and then she's going to be there knowing she's a troublemaker. Have separate events. Okay. If your daughter's son got a birthday party, you know, let her do her own thing with that child and you do your own thing, because some of these women, they just want to come together to be nosy and see what you and your wife got going, to see what you and your new girl got going. It's all about nosiness. The better you keep your new wife, I mean your girlfriend and your baby mama separated, the less drama you'll have. Don't put them in the same perimeter, especially if your baby mama is drama, because she's going to look for that opportunity to try to create trouble for you and your household. So the best thing is don't try to get your new woman involved unless y'all been together for a very, very long time. I say give it about 3, 4, 5 years before you really start having her to handle all of your affairs with your baby mama. Don't get her involved, because a lot of these women, some of them, they just want to be nosy. They're not trying to meet your wife or whatever because they want to get along with her and get to know her. It's all about just being nosy. Oh, well, yeah, well, dangerous. That's a true point. But realize, that then again, that's her fault. By her being disrespectful and by her handling you the way she handled you, guess what? When you stop coming around, she loses all of that as well. The kids don't get to see their grandmas, don't get to see their aunts. That's her fault. She created that. And that's the thing about it. And a lot of women, they cannot see past their emotions. A lot of women can't see past their emotions. The moment they are mad, they are angry, they will take a child from their father, not realizing that child has cousins, that child has grandparents, that child has aunts. But guess what? She's hurting herself and she's hurting that child. Yeah, the thing about it, gentlemen, as long as, yeah, T193, yes, whoever is affiliating with the mother of your child, you don't need to be dealing with them. If she's affiliating with her in a negative way, meaning like she's going back and telling her stuff, telling her about your new job, telling her about your new woman, then no. I mean, talk to mom, but I wouldn't be close to her like that. I would not be close to her like that. I wouldn't. Your mama gonna be your mama, but the moment you see your mama's affiliating with the enemy, which is your baby mama, and she knows the baby mama has caused you trouble, has caused you strife, then guess what? You got to love moms from a distance, and that's how I feel about it. But back to your point, dangerous. Yeah, unfortunately, that this is the thing, guys. If your child knows you, and if your child knows of you, meaning that They know you're their dad because you've always came around for the most part. Or you always been in their life for the most part. You have nothing to feel guilty about when you decide to temporarily walk away until this woman learns how to respect you. You have nothing to lose because that child knows you exist. And eventually that child is going to look for you. And especially if they're little. You know, if that child is 6 or 7 years old and then used to their daddy being there, that child is going to ask, where's my dad? I want to see my dad. Kids know who their fathers are. And I don't care how much she hates you. Once a child knows they have a dad that is living here on this earth, that child is going to look for you at some point. But you have to make her understand that you are not a toy that she can play with. You have to. Yeah, you got to do that. You know, it's hard. Now, when you say separate, who are you trying to keep separate? 193. Is it your baby mama and your mama, or your baby mama and your current girlfriend? I'm just trying to figure out who you're trying to keep separate. For anybody that's just tuning in, I know I've been repeating this throughout the whole viewing the recording, but for anybody who's just coming in, this topic, this recipe that I'm doing today is called Die Hard Daddies. And basically the reason why I did this video is because there's a lot of men out there that is taking all type of disrespect from the mothers of their children. They're allowing the mothers of their children to disrespect them, to, you know, bring trouble to them and bring them through all type of chaos. And it's a lot of men that's tolerating it for the sake of their children. So the point that I'm trying to make a lot of the fathers understand is that sometimes you have to leave these mothers alone with your children. Sometimes you got to walk away, whether if it's indefinitely or temporarily. You have to walk away until you get your respect, until she learns that you are a grown man and you are the father of that child. Until she learns to treat you and respect you as such, you have to walk away. And I'm not saying disappear, never have nothing to do with the child. You can call and check on that child. The child got a cell phone, call and check. If the child don't have a cell phone, you could stick a card in the mailbox, you know, whatever, you know, or go to their school and see them and have lunch with them. If you can't go to her house and see the kids, you know, if the kids go to school, go meet the child at the school. Bring your child lunch so you can sit with your child doing lunch at school. It's several other ways you can connect with that child other than having to go through that mother, if you really fear that walking away from that child. Now, if they are a teenager or they older, it may be a little harder because that child, she has the room to manipulate and brainwash that child. But that's fine, because a child still should not disrespect their father, even if the mother is allowing it. So if you have a son or you have a daughter that's being disrespectful to you, then guess what? You need to cut them off just like you cut off their mama, because you are their father. You are supposed to be the king of the castle. No child should never get to the point to where they feel comfortable with disrespecting you. I don't care if their mother does. What's up, Life Machine Power? How you doing? What's good? Yeah, this is an unexpected video. I just decided to just spontaneously do it. It wasn't really planned, but I just decided to just go ahead and do a video. Leave my door there on. I won't cook and clean. I'm married. I'm one of them. Like, I do everything around the house. She plays games. Leave my daughter here. I'm calm. Won't cook. Now, just though, is this your current woman, or is this your baby mama? Or you with a woman who's not taking care of, who's not cooking and not doing her daughter hair? I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from on that. Baby mama, current wife. Yeah, T193. You're gonna have to be the mediator. You're gonna have to keep them two separate. If you want peace in your house, you're gonna have to be the mediator. You can't let them two intervene with each other too much, you know, until they get to that point where they're ready to be mature women and really discuss whatever issues they have with each other. Yeah, it's just best to keep them separate as much as possible. My father for years. After finding my father and getting inside story. It's always like that, Met V. It is always like that. That's why I tell these men, you have nothing to fear. If you know you've been a good father, You have nothing to worry about. For the most part, these kids will eventually, when their own mama start getting on their nerves, they will find out. They'll find out why you probably left their mama. When their mama start getting on their nerves, you know, they'll see, you know, when a child gets old enough and they go through their own problems in life, they will gain a different perspective. You know, they'll learn to kind of be a little bit more understanding with your situation. But right now, while they're young and their mama still got the room to influence them and to manipulate them, you know, you better off just allowing them to be to themselves. The a current woman, well, definitely, Justo, that's unfortunate that, you know, you have one of those type of women that does not handle her business, that won't do her children's hair. I mean, I don't know. Did you see all of that before, or did you just has she always been that way, or was it one of them things she just started doing once y'all got serious? Because that's what I'm wondering. Has she always been lazy, or did she just started kind of getting lazy once y'all got serious? But yet, Matt V, that's why I say, if you're father now in the situation, what you do is, any moment you have with that child, you take pictures, you know, any little drawings or any little special things they give you, keep all that stuff, hold on to all of that. All the child support you are paying, keep all of those receipts, keep all of that in a special place. That way, one day when these children get old enough and they come back to you and they say, Dad, why wasn't you there? Dad, why you just walked away? You will have all your proof to show them that over the years you've been there, over the years you did your part, you know, and you'll have all the proof right there in the pudding. So if you're in a situation right now and unfortunately you cannot connect with that child because of the kind of relationship you have with the mother, any chance you do connect with that child, make sure you take advantage of it. Take pictures, you know, whatever little drawings they bring you from their school, or little special awards or certificates. Keep all of that stuff so that way you'll have proof when they get older that you were always there for every event, even though you wasn't there as much as you could have been. Well, unfortunately, Justo, if you met her like that and you still decided to be with her, then unfortunately, that was a monster you created. Um, you have some women who they don't feel like they got to be very domestic. They don't feel like they got to cook. They don't feel like they have to clean because of the simple fact that a lot of them are just trifling. Not every woman out there is a real woman. Not all women will cook. Not all women will clean. Not all women will take care of their children. Um, Only thing some of these women have that makes them a woman is they got a vajayjay. That's it. You got a vajayjay, and that don't mean you have the qualities of a woman. That's like a man going around here saying, I'm a man, but he ain't no real man if he ain't got a job, or if he don't know how to handle business, or if he don't know how to carry himself as such. And basically, I don't know if the woman you chose, just though, if she was an attractive woman who was always able to pull women, I'm sorry, if she was a woman who was always able to pull guys because of her looks, because you got some women that look good and dress good, they look good and all of that, but they're not real women. They don't know how to handle business. They don't cook. They don't clean, you know. And if you meet a woman like this and you decide to marry her, or you decide to move in with her and be with her, just know the problem is going to continue to get worse. She's not going to change. If that is the way she was when you met her, that is the way she's going to continue to be. Basically, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. It's like this: if you are dating a woman, okay, you and a woman, y'all dating, and she decides to invite you to her home, okay, for your first date. She decides to cook. She decides to, you know, invite you to her home. So you go to her house, and before you even knock on her front door, you already see she got a bunch of trash on her porch. Okay. She opens the door. Soon as you walk in the house, her house so nasty, you got to wipe your feet leaving out the house, not wiping your foot before you come in the house. You got to wipe your feet when you leave out the house. You see, she got trash all over the place, clothes all over the place. You see, she got rambunctious children that are undisciplined, running all over the place like wild monkeys and all of that. You already know what you're signing up for. That is who she is. What you see is what you get. And she average. Wow. What if she average just though? She did something good to get your attention. Something she had to do good. If she was average, she must be know how to work magic with the pipe. Something she did to get your attention. If she don't look all that good and she's average and you're willing to deal with her, then it's something she did to get your attention. You know, what's up, Rob? Thank you for Rob Carpenter for stopping on in. Well, but he the word you spoke in the video. Hopefully the woman walks in the time right. Oh yes, Beyond. Oh, thanks, Beyond, for stopping on in. You know, that's basically all I can do. You know, everybody's not going to receive the message. You know what I mean? All I can do is put it out there. Getting a passport. Yep, good idea, Met V. That's an excellent idea for everybody who's just tuning in. I'm talking about diehard dads, men that are willing to take all type of disrespect from the mother of their children just so they can connect with their children. Matt V brought up a very good idea because I've had guys, because basically what I was insinuating was, if you are in a situation where the mother of your child is constantly disrespecting you, you have to walk away. And it doesn't have to be permanently, just for a little while until she knows that she has to respect you in order for you to be there for your child. And a lot of men was like, well, if I walk away or I leave my son or my daughter, I don't want my son and my daughter resenting me. And as I stated before, you can still connect with that child without always having to intervene and interact with that mother. And Matt V brought up a good point. He said, for you fathers, set up an email account in your child's name. Email them often. When your child turns 18, give them the password. That is very phenomenal. Met V. That is one of the best. That's actually a very excellent idea. If you men fear that your children are going to feel like you never cared about them, you never checked on them, if you fear that your child is going to resent you, like Met V said, you can start an email and, you know, start an email in your child's name, you know, and start sending stuff to that email saying, you know, how much today I would have loved to pick you up today. You know, you can make it like a diary, write every little event, email every little event to that email. So when that child gets older, they'll look back and see how you really felt about them, how much you really want to be there for them. Memorabilia is everything. That's actually a very good idea. Matt V, thank you for giving me that. I definitely, I'm going to mention that on some of my other videos. So I appreciate the knowledge on that. That's a good one. T says, walk your ass out. Think with your upper head. Yeah, you said you're on the way out. Well, just so realize it's not going to change unless you change it. You will be in the same situation. You're going to wake up to a nasty house, no food, children hair not done. Every day is going to be that way. Because let me tell you, some of these average women, a lot of them even think they got it going on. Because what has happened is a lot of you brothers, y'all have given them this delusional confidence. She may be average, but in her eyes, since she hooked you and you still around, you may have her feeling like she Beyonce. You probably don't really build her ego. Again, you created a monster. So until you change that, it's going to be the way it is. Well, T193 and you, in the words of BBD, never trust a big butt and a smile. You know, like I said, those running behind a woman's physical attributes, you better make sure she has a big brain. While you're running behind the big breasts, the big butts, you better make sure she has a big brain. Because a lot of these women, some of these women that got all these big butts, a lot of these big butts come with mental illnesses. There's a lot of big booty women that have mental illnesses and narcissism. You better make sure she's not mentally ill. You better check her family history. You better make sure she's not schizophrenic. You better check her medicine cabinet while you looking at these butts and you checking everything else out. You better make sure she's straight in the head. That's what you better make sure. But I know I've kind of rambled on a good bit today, but I'm hoping this message let's see, I'm on live. I'm hoping this message that I delivered to all of you fathers out there today, I'm hoping that in some form or another, you was able to gain better insight and not feel like, you know, you're not doing all of what you could do as a father. Because again, you know, it comes a point when like my mom used to tell me, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And it comes a point that if you allow the mother of your children to disrespect you, you allow her to downgrade you, insult you. And the part about it is, fellas, guys, if the lady, if this woman is doing this to you, could you imagine what she's saying around your child about you? If she's gotten that bold where she can say what she want to say to you in your face and you take it because you want to have a connection with your child, could you only imagine how bad she's talking about you to your child? What she's doing is she's teaching your child to disrespect you. And what's going to happen is you're going to have two disrespectful individuals on your case. The mother of your child and your child is going to be disrespecting you because you're not putting your foot down. You're taking all kind of crap just so you can have a relationship with a child that is not going to really see you for the man that you truly are. You know, how can a child respect your authority as a man when you're up here letting a mom say and do all kind of stuff? How's your son or your daughter going to respect you as their father when you allow their mom to disrespect you, say anything out their mouth or her mouth to you? That child is not going to respect your authority. Do you not understand that, men? Your children are not going to respect your authority if you're letting their mama talk to you like you're a prostitute and she your pimp. You're not going to get any respect like that. She's able to say anything out her mouth, especially if you got a son. If you got a son from this woman, do you want your son sitting up there thinking it's okay for a female to disrespect him and cuss him out, and no matter what he deal with it? I mean, come on now. If you got a daughter and your daughter sees that her mom could disrespect you, you let your daughter think she could disrespect men and disrespect you too. And then what's going to happen is your daughter is going to challenge the wrong man, thinking she can talk to every man the way you allow her mother to talk to you. And it's a man that's going to put the Ike Turner on her and show her what time it is. That's what's going to happen. It's not cool to sit up there and let your children witness their mother disrespect you. If she cannot respect you for the man that you are and the father who you are to her child, then guess what? Like I said, leave her to handle the business by herself. That's what you do. Because I guarantee you, she can't do it by herself. Because that same child of hers, or yours, that she's allowing to disrespect you, sooner or later that child is going to disrespect her. Everybody's going to get a taste of their own medicine before it's all over with. That's really the bottom line. Yeah, Dangerous says if a man grew up in a broken home, he would go above and beyond not duplicate his own home life growing up. Yeah, and that's very true. You know, and that's a true point too. I agree with that, Dangerous. But at the same time, you know, change starts from us. You know, like I stated earlier, you can't expect different results and you keep applying the same method. It's just not going to work. A lot of you men could have got your respect long time ago, but a lot of y'all are getting disrespected because y'all are running behind these women that have a relationship with your child. You running, you begging, you trying to kiss her behind, and man, that ain't right. Why you doing me like that? Why you keeping my baby from me? Look, if she want to be like that, you know what I mean? Let her have it. Sometimes you try to hold on too tightly and you still lose anyway. Why even take yourself through the extra burdens? Yeah, but like I'm saying, you know, just though, and I get it. You know, a lot of us we try to avoid. We take a lot of stuff because we've experienced what it's like growing up in a household, not having both parents there. But do you not realize that just because both parents are together, that don't mean you're giving us you're setting the best example as a family for your children? Just though, if you got daughters, do you realize your daughters are going to think it's okay to not cook, not clean, not do their hair? Do you realize you're creating daughters that's going to become another man's nightmare? Do you not get that? When you stay with women that because for the sake of your children and they're not real women, do you understand that your children are witnessing that? And that's gonna you're making her lack of being a woman, that's going to become a norm to them. You're setting the wrong example by staying with her. Just because I get it, a lot of us, you know, didn't always grow up in the best situations, but that should be even more the reason why you should strive to not even you know, to avoid to not even fall in that same mousetrap because you've experienced it and you have been there. So that should be even more the reason why you should try to strive even harder. You get what I'm saying? But again, I know I've been on here for, I know I've been on here for, yeah, I've been on here for a minute now. So I'm definitely, you know, going to go ahead and wrap things up. And just definitely felt it was imperative that I shared with you, all of you, this message on being a diehard dad. You know, it's nothing wrong with wanting to be a dedicated father, but don't be a disrespected father. Okay, that's a good one. I just gave y'all one. You could be a dedicated father, but don't be a disrespected father. In other words, you should not have to deal with being disrespected in order to have a connection with your child. If you allow the mother of that child to disrespect you, then eventually that child is going to disrespect you. It's going to continue to keep going. And when it does, guess what? At the end of the day, you have nothing to blame but yourself, you know. But, you know, guys, ladies, I'm always going live. So, you know, even though I'm getting ready to wrap things up and shut things down, you know, you all will see me again. Again, also, I have my Patreon account. For some of you who have not gone over there already, I did a message for men who specifically have fathers, because I know a lot of you men out there have reached out to me and have told me that you cannot connect with your daughter and you don't have a good relationship with your daughter because of the mother. If you go to my Patreon account, I speak on this very exact subject. And it's a lot of insightful information that I believe that's going to be very beneficial to you. And for all of you who are just coming in late, if you hit the notification bell, you will be notified when I'm going live. So you won't miss out on any of my uploads or when I'm going live. But for all of you who are just now attending church, church is over. The pastor has finished her sermon. Okay, so I'm getting ready to shut everything down. Want to give a big ups to all of my followers. I thank y'all for the love. I thank y'all for your positive energy. I really thank y'all for the donations. I thank y'all for everything. I thank y'all for sharing, liking, subscribing, sharing my videos with people. I have my Subscribers have increased a lot because you guys have been sharing, y'all have been liking, y'all have been sending a lot of people to my channel, and I really appreciate that. I'm so grateful. This is something I love. I have a passion in this. This is something that I plan on doing for a very long time, as long as God gives me the will and determination to do it. So on that note, I definitely want to thank all of you for rocking out with me, Lady Mocha, here at Mocha's Cafe de Paris Lounge. And remember, you know, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm going to always break you off a slice of knowledge. So y'all have a wonderful weekend. Take care, and I'll be hollering at y'all soon. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, y'all. Love y'all. Peace. I'm out.